Now, we mentioned this in the news. Pakistani citizens heading to the voting stations today to cast their ballot in general elections overshadowed by violence and the imprisonment of Imran Khan. Dikti is looking through reactions for us in the press there.
Well, lots of reactions to it from the Pakistani papers, of course. On the eve of these general elections in Pakistan, dozens of people were killed in two terror attacks that were claimed by the Islamic State group on Wednesday. Imran Khan, the former Pakistani Prime Minister, is imprisoned currently 2 years after he was ousted from power in a no-confidence vote. Meanwhile, authorities have cut cell phone coverage in a bid, they say, to maintain law and order as the election is underway this Thursday. Against this backdrop of violence and polarization, Pakistanis are heading to the polls. This paper, Dawn, it's a Pakistani newspaper, says in its coverage, around 128 million voters will be choosing among 18,000 different candidates. So this is certainly an election on a very large scale. Pakistan faces multiple challenges going into this election and, in fact, looking beyond this election for its future. It's grappling with a flailing economy, rising unrest in a restive region, and climate change. Former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who himself was exiled when he was in power, is expected to make a triumphant return to power and be really the big winner of these elections. But this writer here in Dawn, a columnist, says winning will not be a cakewalk for Nawaz Sharif. The unpredictable outcome of this election could prove a serious test for the next ruling government. Meanwhile, Pakistan Today, another paper, has a very simple plea in its opinion piece today. Let the people win, this writer says. And in order to let the people win, you have to let them vote in the best of conditions, saying that is what is best for Pakistan.
Africa Cup of Nations now in the press review. Host Ivory Coast booking their spot in the final just about against Nigeria. Yeah,
they snatched yet another thrilling victory in the semi-final against the Democratic Republic of Congo. They're the first hosts to reach the AFCON final since Egypt in 2006, and it's been a rocky start for the Ivory Coast. They barely qualified out of their pool stage. They sacked their coach mid-tournament. The national papers, not surprisingly today, not short on hyperboles in their headlines. This is from Abidjan 24. God is Ivorian, it says, calling the elephants immortal elephants. This is from L'Avenir. Simply magnificent, the paper says, of the national team. While yet another paper here, Notre Voix, says we're en route for a third title, because indeed the Ivory Coast has won this tournament twice already, the first time in 1992 and the second time in 2015. They've also been runner-ups multiple times, so they are no strangers to AFCON finals.
A revolting one for you now. It's a little unpalatable. Could they be key, nonetheless, into detecting future pandemics?
Yeah, it's important, but please be warned that if you're eating something, you might want to turn away or watch this a bit later, because it is kind of gross. The Telegraph reports on what they call the new Mile High Club, but it's far less savory than the other Mile High Club. Major airports around the world have been intercepting and analyzing waste from airplane toilets. They're hoping to detect pathogens like COVID, polio, Ebola, and yellow fever, all of which travel through the body, through the waste, notably, and can be detected in airline sewage. Now, one of the countries at the forefront of this process is Thailand. It's the first country where COVID-19 was first detected outside of China back in 2020. It's also just 3 hours from the Chinese city of Wuhan. Now, this sort of technique could be a game changer in establishing a truly early warning system that could help ward off future epidemics or pandemics. It won't, however, be able to indicate when an individual was infected, and in order to do this, it would be very costly. So it certainly is a first step in what could be a more complicated process for warding off pandemics.
Yeah, I think we should have an early warning system for that story. But anyway, finally from Dipti, we've got the Wildlife Photographer of the Year. Beautiful pictures. There's a big winner in the People's Choice category.
Yeah, it's a photo from Nima Sarikani. It's this one here. It's called Ice Bed, and as you see, it's very cute. It's a polar bear taking a nap. It's a beautiful picture, but one also, as usual, that should warn about the impact of climate change, polar bears. This one was taken in Norway's Svalbard region, a region where ice is melting rapidly due to the effects of climate change. The photographer saying it's also a message of hope that it's still not too late, I quote, to fix up the mess that we've made. Let's do it.
Dipti is a very cute picture. We do enjoy it. Dipti Laurent there with the papers for us here.